Hello, money queens and listeners. Welcome to Women Behind the Millions. Let's meet the women behind the millionaires, the women supporting, guiding, celebrating women with their wealth. You will hear from women millionaires, how they got there, what they wish they had known, what got them to be a millionaire, the emotional side, the spiritual side, the practical side of wealth. You'll also get to meet the women behind the scenes helping make it happen. Let's dive into Women Behind the Millions. I am Jessica Weaver, your host, best-selling author of 3 books, wealth advisor, and founder of the Women's Wealth Boutique. Let's start meeting the women. Hey, it is Jessica Weaver. I am so excited for this episode of Women Behind the Millions, Season 2 here, where we talk all things power, prosperity, and of course, the color of pink. Our overall brand, pink, and that really stands for that divine feminine, that energy, holding space for our feminine features, our qualities, because they are also, ladies, our strengths. So thank you so much for tuning into Women Behind the Millions this week. We have an incredible guest on with us today. I'm going to kind of tee up our conversation with her tonight. And we start every show, and this is how I start every day, with a mantra, with a saying, with a prayer, and something that's been a huge shift for myself. And we bring this to all of our advisors at the Women's Wealth Boutique, is a big shift from what's the worst that can happen? How many times in our mind do we say that in our daily lives? What's the worst that can happen? Even when we get an email, a call from a client, somebody, a family member, like, oh, something bad happened. We instinctively go right to the worst possible outcome. And you can feel that energy when you say that. What's the worst that can happen? It's a very low energy. It's a scary energy, preparing for the worst, going into the battlefield, versus this huge shift that we've been making here at the Women's Wealth Boutique. What's the best possible outcome, right? What's the best possible thing that could happen to me today? And you can feel that shift in energy. What's the worst thing that can happen? What's the best thing that can happen? Where's your energy? Which one do you want to play in more? Do you want to play in the daunting, overwhelming, stressful things of everything falling apart? I have to close my business, declare bankruptcy, run out of money, have debt. Or is it, wow, what if everything goes right? What if everything is so lined up for me, full alignment in my vortex, and I'm ready to take it on, and I set up a new program, a new special, a new event, and the women just show up? And this feels very similar to, I'm reading this new book, 10 Times is Easier Than 2 Times. And you wouldn't think that, because I know you're working hard. You're working your ass off. We all are. We're on this hamster wheel. We're on this hustle. We have put the hustle on a pedestal. I'm like, I'm so exhausted. How on earth am I going to be able to 10 times my efforts? And it's not. It's a complete shift. It's a shift of energy, of focus. Where are you prioritizing? Are you getting stuck in the muck and the grudge of the day-to-day operations? Or are you shifting over to strategizing, big picture, narrowing your attention, narrowing your focus on who am I becoming? Who do I need to be? What am I building as well? Our guest today is a great example of this. I remember when I started out in the financial industry in 2010, I joined an all-male firm. I joined my father's firm. My brother, who's also an advisor, still there to this day. There are a few other male advisors. And I didn't feel like I fit in at all. There's all these men. There's women, but they are more the operational side, right? They're behind the scenes, admin support, client relationship managers, but not so much client facing. So feeling like I didn't fit in, a fish out of water, I said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to some of these successful female advisors, not even in my area, all over the country, and see like what was their experience, what helped them. And when I called them, it broke my heart, because they very quickly told me they do not have time to talk with me today. And being an advisor, it can feel very isolating, very alienated. Even being a woman business owner, I can feel you very much, you're on your own island. There's not a lot of people that you can talk to about your problems or celebrate your successes. especially when it comes to money, right? Who are you going to brag to? I just made $1 million, without feeling like you're bragging, being conceited. So you feel very alone. I felt alone at my father's firm, just being a female advisor. And now the other women in the industry are making me feel even more isolated. And talk about triggering that inner child, that inner teen that never felt like they fit in. And that's what happens with women. And it makes you retreat even more. Well, our guest tonight is all about bringing women up. She loves, her tagline is, let's straighten each other's crowns, right? In this book, you can see Confessions of a Money Queen, My Crown. Let's straighten each other's crowns. She's the best hype woman I know. She will pray over you. She will give you so many raging reviews over it. And I want to take a moment here. We're going to talk about Confessions of a Money Queen. There's a QR code. You get the free audiobook of it. In it, there are these mantras. There are money meditations that are going to go along the lines of this one. So invite everybody, just close your eyes real quick. We're going to do a full-blown meditation at the end of this episode, so stay tuned. If I do it now, you'll just be in a meditative state the entire time. We want to keep your energy high until then. You can just put your hands on your heart and say to yourself, what is the best possible outcome? In never my wildest dreams did I think that feeling so isolated was a thing that was going to set me up for success the most. Because I quickly realized how much other women were dealing with the same exact thing. So when I decided to take this huge leap, right, not 2 times, 10 times myself, walk away from my cushy spot at my father's firm to launch the Women's Wealth Boutique, how uniting it was going to be for women in the industry. Whether you're part of our firm or you're part of our media, we publish other female advisors' books, getting on our podcast, a TV show, things like that, how uniting it was going to be. The collaboration versus competition has been huge for all of us. So I am so excited to have with us tonight Leslie Lipscomb from Financial Independence Group. Leslie goal each and every day is to enhance the lives of independent financial advisors and their clients. Over the last 16 years, she's been able to create sound solutions for families in times of loss, uncertainty, let's say volatility as well. And she prides herself on bringing an unbiased opinion to the table for advisors and have the opportunity to serve them, really raise them up, hone in on what's their unique skill set, bring people together, have space for collaboration, especially when it comes to women. So Leslie, thank you. Here we come. So much, Leslie, for being on Women Behind the Millions tonight with us to share your story, some exciting things that are coming along as well in the works. She's one of our financial trendsetters, featured in our book, Financial Trendsetters, February of 2024 as well. So Leslie, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me, Miss Jessica. It's a pleasure to be on with you tonight.
I always joke with Leslie, I'm from New Jersey. And in the tri-state area, we tend to be very direct, very blunt, honest, quick. We move very quick. And when I met Leslie, it really threw me off. She was so genuine and kind and interested in what I have going on, which I feel a lot of times in businesses, what can I get out of this relationship? Where she's just like, she always says, pour love. I'm just going to pour love all over you. And I tell her all the time, she's the most genuine person I know in the financial industry. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. It's incredible what you do for our firm at the Women's Wealth Boutique, for all of your advisors, for the women in the industry. We're recording this. We have a conference coming up featuring, it's all women in the industry. How many do we have this year, Leslie Common?
There'll be over 390 women in attendance.
And that it's grown, 4 or 5 times since last year. Was it around 100 last year?
It was. We might have to call the fire marshal this year.
We took over Miranda Lambert's bar in Nashville last year, and we were told we were the best guests this band has ever seen. Well, that's like bringing these women together has been incredible. Leslie, how did you get started in the financial industry just to begin with?
So right out of college, actually, I was hired by one of the largest financial institutions in the company, or in the country, rather, excuse me. So one of the largest financial institutions in the country. So I had a interview before I graduated from college. It was actually a friend of my father's, a little connection that we have there. And he was selling health insurance and life insurance. I had an interview with him and he hired me right on the spot. So I graduated from college, already had a job. I was off to the races right after graduation, and my job was terrible. It was terrible. I went to work every day and kind of felt like I was being tortured. I worked with very unfortunate individuals that I'm pretty sure they hated their lives and they did not like me. So it was apparent. I vaguely remember having conversations with my dad. He should have sent me invoices for all the therapy sessions that we had, my sister as well. And I actually remember telling him one day, and Jessica, you know me, I'm pretty conservative. I remember telling him one day that I would rather swing around a pole than have to go to that office another day. And my dad said, Leslie, there's a better way. So after about a year, I stuck it out for about a year. I posted my resume to what at the time was known as monster.com. I don't even know if monster.com is still around.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is back in 2006. And a company by the name of Financial Independence Group reached out to me, and I had 3 conversations before I had the opportunity to have a live interview in Cornelius, North Carolina at the home office. And I was in awe after my very first meeting with this organization of just the comfort, the sheer comfort in the moments of meeting the leadership team at Financial Independence Group, that I now have been able to call my professional home for over 17 years. So looking back, I started as a marketing consultant actually at FIG. Actually, I was the assistant to a marketing consultant, a gentleman by the name of Jim Cooper at FIG. And we had a very interesting start, to say the least. So one of our fearless leaders at Financial Independence Group, a gentleman by the name of Bo Johnson, he's a big part of my story, even though I didn't get to spend enough time with him. Bo was our chief marketing officer and was diagnosed shortly after I'd been hired at FIG with stage 4 non-smoking lung cancer. And unbeknownst to me, Bo had hand selected Jim to be his succession plan. Bo had decided that Jim was going to be the one, when there was no longer breath in Bo's body, to take the reins as the chief marketing officer at our organization. And I was going to take Jim's job. We did each other's role for about 2 years while Bo was battling fiercely his cancer. And unfortunately, he lost his battle in 2009, and I stepped into Jim's role, a marketing consultant role. I progressed over time to a VP role, and then in 2017 to an SVP role. But my time at FIG, I like to tell people, it's kind of like leaving the storm and coming to the sunshine, because I personally have found myself in a place where I can have honest conversations, which I know for a lot of women in any industry, that's not something that exists. And for me, it's been ever present in my relationship with the organization that's not so small anymore. So I was employee number 46. Yes, and now we have a little over 200 employees. For a family-owned organization, we're going to do a little over $4 billion this year in insurance sales. So we've come a long way. Bo's vision actually was for us to do $1 billion in business. So it goes without saying that we've honored him and his wishes and his legacy and well exceeded those expectations. But my path to where I am today, I have no doubt that it was intentional. It was God's plan for me to have that rocky start, and for me to see that the opportunity that I have, the home that I have at Financial Independence Group is just wonderful. And, for 17 years, not many people right out of college, their second job is their career for the rest of their life. And for me, that is definitely something that I pray for every day, to be able to continue to work at Financial Independence Group. They've seen me through the loss of grandparents, the loss of parents, the loss of you name it, and have been supportive of me, which I think those personal moments in life too, they matter so much. And to have people alongside of you, guiding you, loving you, it makes life that much easier. So it's a little bit about my story to where I am today at Financial Independence Group. I lead a team there's 14 of us at FIG. That consists of back office support, our operations team. They're phenomenal. Contracting team, we have our sales team. I can't say enough about my team on the sales side. I have a sales associate that works alongside of me, and a dynamic marketing team that stands beside me as well to support the advisors that I work with day in and day out. So my role is make the independent advisor successful. How can I help an advisor that is independent? They're not at a big bank. They're not with the organizations that you see on the corner of every town. They've started their own business. They're serial entrepreneurs, and they need love and guidance to help them make the right decisions, to take the right turns on their path of independence. So we have the tools and resources at Financial Independence Group to plug those advisors into the resources that are going to allow them to succeed. And at the end of the day, that's our goal. I get paid the same way our advisors get paid. Whenever they go and they help someone, they make money. And whenever my advisors are successful, I get to make money. So it's a win-win. We have a very invested relationship. We have a very close relationship. And right now we serve advisors in all 50 states. So we don't have anybody in Puerto Rico. I'm working on Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Yes, we're working on Puerto Rico, but we have advisors in all 50 states that we are blessed to serve day in and day out. And in turn, they get to serve families, as you mentioned, to help them in times of crisis and uncertainty.
Amazing, Leslie. What I hear from your story, we're talking about 10 times is easier than 2 times. You had to 10 times your career very quickly. And I swear, sometimes God just puts us in those situations, knowing we can handle it, knowing that's the end goal, and to support. And then the other piece, which also is crucial to 10 times thing, is the team. And you can see how grateful for you are for your team. It's one of the things every morning when I sit down, I do my daily money practice. I have to fill a page every morning. I get to fill a page with everything I'm grateful for. And my team is always top of the list, right? It's like family, God, team, clients, advisors. They're always are right there for it. Without the team, right, we can't do everything ourselves, despite women trying to do it. Now, Leslie, before we dive into more of your story and the things happening, we want to ask you some trivia questions, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
These are some myths that we are kind of debunking as we have these such professionals on with us. We can't help it to get your take on things. So the first question, you ready, Leslie?
I'm ready.
Okay. Term life insurance lasts for your entire lifetime.
False. You're asking me true or false. It's definitely false. Definitely false.
It is false. So what does term mean for those of you who are watching but aren't aware?
The term in term life insurance means the insurance is viable for a specific term or a period of time. So in other words, if you bought a 10-year term life insurance policy, you must pass away within 10 years in order for that life insurance policy to pay. If you live 10 years and 1 day, there is zero insurance to your heirs. So term life insurance policy is a viable insurance policy for a specific duration of time, specifically between 10 and sometimes 30 years. You can get a term policy, believe it or not, for 30 years.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that for all of our viewers, listeners. Another question for you. Who can be a beneficiary on a life insurance policy? A, charity, B, a trust, C, a person or group, or D, all of the above?
I'm going with D. Absolutely.
Ooh.
all of the above. So you can name whoever you want on your life insurance policy as your beneficiary.
Yes, the charity one, people forget about that. When you work and they might not have kids, or their kids are very successful in their own right. Who can I name? You can bring in a charity, a nonprofit. Think about that legacy and imagine that phone call, calling them up and saying, my $1 million policy is going to you. They'd be blown away, the impact that they can have with that. Even if it's a portion, it could be 1% of the policy.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. Absolutely. Very good, Leslie. All right. We have one more. It's another true or false. I'll lead with that. True or false? If you have a life insurance policy through your employer, a group policy, a personal life insurance policy is not needed.
False. Definitely false. 9 times out of 10, actually probably 10 times out of 10, that employer sponsored policy, if you leave that employer, it's not going with you. So it is important to have a standalone policy in place regardless of the place you call employment. So outside of your employer, you should have standalone life insurance. It is so important to have life insurance outside of your employer. Absolutely.
Beautiful. And I say usually it's 1, 2 times, 3 times your pay. Sometimes you can pay a little bit more for extra, but it's good to price it out and to see what other options are there. Is this going to be the most cost effective? Is there health history with your parents, grandparents, that like diabetes, heart disease, things like that could happen later on in life that you might want your own policy to help cover that if you were to leave that job as well. So very good. See, lady, she knows her stuff. We bring on the experts here for you and also get some awareness, education here in a fun way as well. All right, Leslie. So I'm curious, what has been your experience? You've been in the financial industry for quite some time now. What has been your experience for women in the industry?
So women in the industry really in the last 5 years, in my opinion, have made a big splash. Their voices have been amplified. Their voices definitely have been amplified. And there's more and more women entering the financial services space. The reason for that, there's tremendous flexibility in this industry. You can be your own boss. You can pick your own hours. You schedule your own appointments when you want to have them based on your availability. Also, women are great communicators. So the ability for women to connect with families, women, men, couples, it is absolutely evident that the financial services industry is a place for women to call home. So for me, I know when I started 17 plus years ago, there were very few women that I had the opportunity to work alongside of. And that paradigm, it shifted slowly the last 15 years, but really most recently in the last 5 years, more and more women are making an entrance. There's more support for women. Events like we're going to next week, Excel Represent, where we're going to be with almost 400 women from all across the country. Those exist. So we've got more support systems, more encouragement and resources for women to make a splash in financial services.
I love splash. It does seem to be, it's like a slow build. And then you hit that turning point where it's a whole different trajectory for them. What age do you see the new wave of female advisors coming in? Is it across the board? Is there a certain age group you see more of?
Younger than me. They're definitely younger than me. I see mid-30s. I'm seeing quite a few ladies in their mid-30s making an entrance into financial services. And people love that because what does it mean? Longevity. They're going to be around to see people to and through their retirement. So having someone that's not on the edge of retiring themselves from the financial services industry and someone that can be there for them for the long haul is definitely, it's what a lot of people are looking for. So I'd say mid-30s is the average age for women that are joining not only the financial services industry, but going independent. So maybe they've spent time in a role like you did, Jess, with your dad. You got your just your footing and your confidence, and you decided it was time for you to spread your wings and fly.
Yes. What do you see being a big mindset block for new female advisors coming into the industry? I'm curious because you work with us very intimately, very engaged with us. And so many times you're in that seat where you can see we're thinking too small or it's a confidence thing. What do you see happening?
I think this can be a very lonely business, and being an entrepreneur can be very lonely. So that block oftentimes for women, men, anyone, quite frankly, that is thinking about moving into their own business, moving into their own space, and losing that connection with other people. Maybe it's coworkers that they talk to or they Zoom with periodically, or they have the chance to cross paths within the office. But a lot of people, I think it's the loneliness factor that can come into play. And the reality is it doesn't have to be lonely. There's organizations like the Women's Wealth Boutique that exist as an RIA, right? If you're at IAR and you need an RIA and you're looking for a partnership, you're looking for a community, somewhere that you can land and be supportive, you've got Women's Wealth Boutique. There's various other firms out there as well too. Of course, we want the right organization for the right person. As well as organizations like ours, Financial Independence Group, where our goal is to support that independent financial professional. And we have various outlets to make sure that you can plug in and feel that support. So that loneliness factor is taken out of the equation.
Yes. And that loneliness, I always talk about ripple effects. There seems to be, right? If you feel isolated and alone, a lot of times then you're going to start second guessing yourself, questioning if you're doing things right. There's nobody to talk things through with, see, is there a better way, an easier way? That's what I love about our firm. And you're a huge piece of it, is that collaboration, right? We don't have to reinvent the wheel each time. We can find a system. Maybe you're going to tweak the system to make it feel right for you and how you operate, but it's there. The structure, the infrastructure is already set up for it. You touched on earlier, Leslie, people leaving the wirehouse firms, and those are right, those big banks, the Merrill Lynches of the world, the Ameriprises, JP Morgan, in going independent. And there's nothing against the wirehouses here at all. What's a hurdle that these advisors have to overcome as they go independent? Independent means, right, they can work with different custodians, Fidelity, Schwab, right, the places that hold the money, different investments, firms like you, any kind of insurance company that's in good rating. What's a hurdle for them that they have to overcome?
There's quite a few, actually, but one that comes to mind.
We can talk about, we got time.
Yeah, we got time. One that definitely comes to mind is the reality of you're leaving a big brand with no brand. So having to have your own brand as you leave the big wirehouse and step into your own world of whatever that may be, whatever the name of your firm could be. But coming out, having a website, having collateral material that really tells who you are as an advisor and creates that credibility factor so that people want to work with you. Or if you're leaving that big wirehouse, people want to come with you. Where are you going? Are you just going to take my money and put it under your mattress? No. Right? So how do you convey that message of, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am, this is my new path that I am on, and this is why you should come with me? So telling that story of independence, branding yourself, any type of collateral that's going to help people understand that you're moving into a role that is going to allow you to better serve them. So if you're at a wirehouse or if you're at a bank, what do you have the opportunity to offer? Their products. But if you go independent, then you have the opportunity to offer the world. The architecture of products and resources is absolutely endless. So that would be number one. Number two would probably be a non-compete. Good luck with your non-compete. I'm just kidding.
Lawyer up, get a good attorney to know what your options are. Yes. Nobody wants to get sued or get into a legal battle at all. Yeah. No. So what is your contract? How many times, I see this all the time with women. What's your contract say with your current firm? I don't have a contract with my current firm. Everybody has a contract. There is one. You probably have no idea what it is. And I see this being a huge mistake with women advisors. One, not being educated on the options of where they can be a financial advisor, and just going with that first one that they know or interview for, and they drink the Kool-Aid, they sign a contract, and it's almost like they sell their soul by the end of it. what is that contract, and don't be shy away from a legal team. Have an attorney look at it.
Definitely.
Great point, Leslie. So to recap, going from a huge brand, well-known brand, to your own brand, your own personal brand. And what's that new identity that you're showing up as and you're conveying to your clients? And then what's that contract? Is there a non-solicit, a non-compete? How many years? What area? And doing that, I've seen some people, they take that jump. They didn't realize there's a non-compete. And other people shying away from that decision because they're so terrified. So just know what your options are before you sign anything. And then if you're about to make a switch or a transition as well. Great points, Leslie. So helpful for anybody in the financial industry. And I love bringing ladies like you on, because you get to see the behind the scenes of what it is like working with an advisor and who's supporting us, ladies like Leslie. We have some other ones coming up here on this season of Women Behind the Millions. And what does it look like as we are making these decisions for our firms? Because we're making them for our clients in the end. We want to be independent so that we don't have conflicts of interest or being product pushers, as you hear as well. So Leslie, as we're kind of rounding out our discussion with you today, what are some of your ambitions bringing more women into the industry and uniting us? That seems to be a theme. I started with feeling very isolated in the industry. You talked about it as well. What are these ambitions and initiatives that you've been taking on?
So I would say community, building that community of women, helping everyone come together. That's really what it's all about. And that happens at events, again, like we're going to next week at Excel Represent. It happens through events that we host at Financial Independence Group as well. We have quite a few events where we really just have the meeting of the minds, the iron to sharpen the iron. So that opportunity to plug into one another and learn. We also have a coaching and mentorship program at FIG. I'm a huge advocate of mentoring coaching. And a lady by the name of Jessica Weaver, have you met her? She is one of our coaches that we are blessed to have on our platform, guiding and mentoring lady advisors, female advisors, men as well. We've had quite a few men interested in the program as well, on how to be their best when it comes to all things financial services. So that community, the collaboration, the coaching and mentorship, all of those coming together for us at Financial Independence Group are what's most important. And quite frankly, for me, sometimes I feel like I'm a matchmaker. I feel like I'm eHarmony. So getting to talk to all of these women that I have the opportunity to serve and then plugging them into the right resources. So how can I make sure that you land in the right place, whether it's connecting them with a broker-dealer relationship that I have or connecting them with the Women's Wealth Boutique. So making sure that people are supported in a manner that is going to lead to their level of success that they desire, as well as connecting the minds, the leadership in this industry, the people that we know, they need one another. And if they can really share the ideas and thoughts that they have, we can help other people be even more successful.
Incredible, Leslie. I love it. Real quick, as we're ending this portion of Women Behind the Millions, you are a featured author. You are a contributing chapter to our book, Financial Trendsetters. Can you give us a little taste of what your chapter is going to talk about?
So my chapter is definitely going to talk about some surprising details about me. And that happens to be a severe struggle with mathematics. So ironically, being in the financial services industry, I have not always been great at math. I could not understand what X mattered for in any of those equations. Why do I need to find what X is? I don't understand. So I should have a PhD in math, actually, now that I think about it. I've had so much education in the world of mathematics. So I'm going to talk about that struggle. I'm going to talk about some people in my life that I have absolutely no doubt God put on my path to help me get to where I am today, to guide me to where I am today. So there's a little bit of a nod to some of those people, like my dad, like Bo, like my sister, my husband. And Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm looking forward to most in my career, the years to come. I'm just getting started.
Oh, yes.
So what's
just revving up?
Yes, that's right. Just revving up. That's right.
Beautiful, Leslie. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but stay with us because Leslie's going to share her hot money tip with us, her financial trend that she's noticing with women and forecasting that out. And then we're going to end with that meditation, a special gift to all of our viewers. So stay with us. It's been an incredible conversation so far with you, Leslie. I cannot wait to hear your hot money tip and talking about the mindset shifts that women have to make as they enter the industry, the struggles, that those blocks that we have to make when we're leaving a well-known firm. And this relates to women leaving a corporate job and starting their own business as well. So similar. What's that brand mission message that you want to show up in? And then going into what that chapter is going to be about. I love all these chapters that the women are putting together for Financial Trendsetters. It's going to be huge. All the book proceeds are going to fund a scholarship for a young woman who wants to be a finance major. So ladies, grab the book. We will get it to you, the QR code for the book coming up here shortly. So stay with us for a quick commercial break.
So what are the real reasons people are having these feelings or having these repeating patterns of money issues? And I wanted to dig deep into those areas. What are the triggers? What are the emotions? Let's actually have some healing instead of just doing a quick fix. So having those two different kind of conflicts in me, I decided, I begged my father, can I just focus on women? Can I reach women? Can I dig deep with them? Have events for women? That spurred my first book, Strong Woman, Stronger Assets, my second book, Time to Refine, and then finally Confessions of a Money Queen. And so here I am, not your father's advisor, years later, opening up the Women's Wealth Boutique, the fastest growing female-owned firm in the nation. But we're also a multimedia firm because our goal is to get resources, financial education, literacy out to women. Even one of our biggest viewers for our blog is in underdeveloped countries, for women, getting them the financial resources that they don't have access to at all. So you can work with us as a one-on-one capacity as a full-time client, or you can be part of our community just with our events, our books, our online courses. There's so many different ways to get engaged with us. So one, we focus on women and we will not apologize for it, but also we are a multimedia firm, which is very different than the traditional financial advisory offices you see.
All right, welcome back, ladies and money queens. We have Leslie Lipscomb with us, SVP at Financial Independence Group, FIG. FIG, we hear it all different ways as well. Leslie, we are coming into our segment on sharing your hot money tip. So I cannot wait. I'm very curious. What is your go-to money move that women can make? Let's hear it.
I have two. Okay, ladies.
Double bonus. All right.
Double bonus. And one's pretty simple, but for some people it might not be. And that is, technology is your friend. And you absolutely should automate your savings. So each and every month, I don't care if you're saving $5 or $5,000 a month, it is imperative that you set yourself up to have an automated monthly draft from your checking account to a savings account. Make sure you are setting yourself up to have that automatic draft move money from your checking account to your savings account. Because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, right? And if you've got something that's left over, go for it. Move it into your savings account too. So use technology. It is your friend. Automate your savings. My hot money tip number 2 is the word. It starts with the letter A. It's one of my favorite words, and it's annuity. Annuities, while they do have a bad reputation from time to time, anybody in financial services knows that, right now, annuities have the highest rates I have seen in my career. So over 17 years of history working in the annuity space right now, big indices that we all know, love, and trust, like the NASDAQ, like the Russell 2000 or the S&P 500, the crediting strategies to someone are unbelievable. Zero loss potential. So all you get is the upside of those indices. What is happening in the market? Capture the gains, forget the losses. So consider an annuity. Even if you have preconceived premonitions or thoughts about annuities, I'd take a second look at them because they're certainly a great place to grow your money, tax deferred as well as safely.
Ooh, I was not expecting those two in there. The technology and automating your savings is huge. We know as women, the less steps, the simpler it is, the more automated it is, more likely to happen. And taking that, especially, I've noticed this even with myself. Sometimes when we're not happy with where our money is at, we will avoid looking at it.
Yes.
And if you're going to avoid looking at it, you're going to avoid that step to transfer the money over. Or it's going to be fear-led. It's going to be stressful. And again, we're going to procrastinate. We're going to avoid it, not get it done. But when you can, and as you said, it could be $5, $50, a paycheck a month, doesn't matter. But when you start building that new behavior and that consistent spending, the confidence I see in women is incredible. And making it sustainable, it's happening each time. Now you get excited over money. I always try to make money like a game for my clients, right? How do we make money fun? How do we get excited about it? How do we come together if you're a married couple or partnered with somebody and look how much money we just saved up versus how much money did you spend this month? Changing that dialogue has been huge. And I agree with you on the annuities. Education is key, right? Women, we are about a third of the millionaires here. And education is going to move that needle so far and so much faster. There are different ways to build wealth, different vehicles. An annuity is a vehicle to help build wealth. There are horrible annuities and there are amazing annuities. So education and working with somebody that you respect, trust, is an expert, well-educated to talk it through with you is huge. Thank you for sharing your hot money tips. Leslie, got double bonus tonight, ladies. How about that? We should have done a drinking game every time Leslie says the word annuity or life insurance.
Drink. Sorry.
All right, we're going to move on to the next portion, our next kind of game. What is a financial trend that you are seeing with women and their money? You are one of our financial trendsetters in our book coming out February 2024, Financial Trendsetters. So what's this trend that you're seeing now, Leslie? The hot trend.
Definitely a hot trend that is a huge role reversal, in my opinion, that I've seen here recently is women taking the reins when it comes to their finances. And what do I mean by that? I mean more women that are in relationships, they have a partner or spouse, they are making the decision on who they are going to work with as their financial professional.
Ooh, yes.
And their partners, their men, their partners are supportive of them. And the reason for that is women live longer than men. So we want to make sure that we are partnering with an advisor that we like and a person that we can connect with and we know is going to be with us for the long haul when our partner or our spouse is no longer able to be along with us. So that trend to me is a big shift. I was actually on a call a couple of weeks ago, and kind of to flip what I just said on its head, actually a husband reached out to a female advisor that we work with and had chosen her to be the advisor for their family because he knew that his wife would love her. He knew that his wife would be able to connect with her and they would be able to support one another for the days to follow after he was no longer on this earth. So again, men are understanding the need for women to have a relationship with an advisor that they are going to connect with. And women are seeing the need to make sure that when they connect with someone to help them with their money, to grow it, to preserve it, to plan for retirement, it's someone that they truly want to talk with. It's someone they truly want to have a relationship with.
Ooh, and what a very encouraging trend to see. Because to me, what I'm hearing is they're inviting their wife to have a say in the finances and for them to now be united as partners, not one controlling it or working against each other, but really being united on this front and being so supportive of the wife. Some trends that I've been noticing that as you're talking about it coming up, and you said this at our speaking summit in May of this year of women getting married later in life. Mm-hmm. And when that happens is they have their own assets. They've been working, they've been saving, they might have their own house. And now they're coming into a marriage, not starting from scratch, but having wealth already built up. Yes. And when that happens, what I see a huge trend that's not quite there yet, but forecasting out are more women demanding prenups of their future spouses or postnups. Some states, and I'm not a lawyer, so this is not legal advice, but some states don't really abide by them, placing assets in a trust as well, just keeping them separate from them commingling as marital assets. And then another piece, women becoming the breadwinners. That's a shift happening too. And now I'm bringing home the money as well, or they're equal earners. I want equal say, right? I want to know what's going on with the money. And I see exactly what you just spoke about. Now they are the ones seeking the financial advisor as well. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing the financial trend that you've been witnessing, because you are seeing it on a different perspective. We working with the advisors and seeing what's happening on all of their client bases. So fascinating stuff, Leslie. So Leslie, one more question. What makes you a woman behind the millions?
Oh, so when I think of women behind the millions, the women that make up the women behind the millions, the word success and giving both come to mind. And my success is something that hasn't happened to me. It's happened through me. And I think that is something that is consistent with all of the women behind the millions. And through them, through all of us, we've been able to help one another succeed and help the others around us, whether it's someone we're planning for their retirement and it's an advisor that we're helping, it's our family. We're able to give to them time, money, energy, and help them succeed. So I would say the success, but again, it's not something that's happened to me. It's something that's happened through me.
I got the chills as you were saying that. I also could feel the energy shift as you were answering that and becoming more emotional side of it for you, Leslie. You really are a mentor, a coach, a partner, an advocate for women in the industry, outside of the industry, just women building wealth all around. Whatever that way that looks is different. But I was just on with one of my coaches before this session, and we're talking about manifestation. And everybody knows I'm very spiritual. I love some good manifestation. And what she was saying is that it's not our desires that we end up manifesting. It's God's desires that come through us. As you were saying, your success has been coming through you. And it felt very much in alignment with all the work that we're doing. So thank you for sharing that. What a shift. Even this is the energy shift, right? The success is happening through you, and it's amazing how it's changing the lives around you. So Leslie, thank you so much for being on with us here at Women Behind the Millions tonight. It's been such a pleasure sharing you. There is her information for those of you who are in the industry, want to know more. There's Leslie's QR code to her page where you get to see her team she spoke about, her incredible team, her journey. And Leslie, again, she's going to be part of our book, Financial Trendsetters, coming out February 2024. So stay tuned. You'll get to hear and learn more of Leslie's story as well. All right, Leslie, thank you so much for being on here. We are going to end tonight's show with a meditation. You're going to want to be a part of this because we're going to start to manifest that best possible outcome, because you all know you are worthy of it. You are deserving of it. You are worthy of the millions, the billions. You are as my coach was saying, a spiritual millionaire, billionaire, because it's already happened. Your soul has already experienced it. We are on our journey to claiming it now. So stay with us. And a quick shout out to Lyft our 10-week manifestation money course, where you get a new meditation every week, prayer, journal work to work through all of these blocks. So if you're liking these manifestations, these meditations, mantras that we've been doing, you are going to love Lift. So as we round out tonight's episode, I encourage you, everybody, to sit there, take a sip of wine if you need to, but close your eyes, take a deep breath in, put your hand over your heart. And I'm going to let you know that you are safe, that you are loved, that you are worthy. And by saying this, we are letting your subconscious know that it is safe to talk, and let you know it's safe for your soul to come. And this trial, this struggle that you have been dealing with, this block, right? You feel it. You feel the energy. It's like this invisible wall, that you now are welcoming what God is intending for you. This big picture, this 10 times what you currently are doing, and give yourself some space tonight to let it come through. So let God talk to you, let your body talk to you, your soul, it's coming, it's there. And release it. Let it come. And as it comes, write it down, because this is the end result. This is the end goal that you have been working towards. This is the answer to every block, struggle that you have been dealing with, every cycle, these patterns. And then ask God, ask your soul to show you the journey from that end goal to now. What is this journey that you're going to be on? And it's going to show you the steps to take to reach this best possible outcome. What are these steps? And give yourself time, write it all down, carve out space and silence just to listen to you. Have a conversation with you, have a conversation with God, let it come. You are worthy of 10 times growth. You are worthy of 10 times the wealth, the assets, the income. You are so worthy. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight and Women Behind the Millions. We cannot wait to see you next week on our next episode with another financial trendsetter that we are bringing to you. Hot money tips, financial forecasts, and all. Thank you for being a part of Women Behind the Millions.
Hey, money queens, looking to get your wealth to that next level, 7, 8, 9 figures? Follow us on Instagram at PinkFixMyMoney and at Women's Wealth Boutique for more millionaire money